Now we're live.
Hey everybody!
Fucking 2021, bitches.
Wow.
What?
Did you think it would ever come? Ever. It seemed like the longest year ever.
It was pretty long.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like some people are telling me what happened in January, and I'm like, no, that was like 5 years ago. Like, no, it was January.
I know.
It's only 1 year ago.
It's wild. Yeah. So, welcome everybody. We got a couple things we got to accomplish today while we have your attention in 2021. Happy New Year. We are Fit Fat Chat. So, I'm Ayanna parent, and you can introduce yourself.
I'm, if you can read this tag here, I can't point to it. There it is. Anyway, I'm Christy. I am Big Red.
Yeah,
We are.
I'm also Black Addict. So.
That's right. She didn't have room for all of her titles
I
anymore. Like,
confused.
jeez.
So much happening, but we want to welcome you back because we're back and we figured we'll go live so you can see our faces, even though you love listening to us. We know that. We figure why not give you our faces, and then Christy's so good at editing, she's just gonna rip the audio and give you the podcast anyway. But this will also be recorded, so you'll have multiple ways to connect with Fit Fat Chat in the new year. So, after today, we wanted to just kick off 2021 by welcoming the new year. But after today, we are going to go live every Sunday at 10. At least for January and February. And then we'll catch you up on the spring. What's going to happen.
We'll see.
We'll see. You never know.
Kind of taking it moment by moment, which is actually good. It's a very good, 2020 was a very good exercise in living in the absolute exact moment because you didn't know what was going to happen the next day.
I mean,
You could not predict it, could not control it.
seriously. Because that's what, when I was listening to Jamar, the one you sent me, the YouTube, our boy there, Jamar Rogers. He was like,
Yes.
you know, I've already done like a full live. I'm like being grateful for 2020, you know, not wishing it away. But I loved his whole thing about like, you gotta just roll, like you gotta just roll with it. You have to just roll with whatever it is and then let go of like what's supposed to be. I mean, that has been the biggest lesson. I mean, I've always sort of been like that, but like you had to really ground into that without like any fear, because like, what the fuck was that gonna do for you? Nothing. Because shit changed every day.
Yeah.
Scary stuff changed every day. So you kind of just had to like be in it, no matter what it looked like, without the expectation of what the next day was going to bring. It's
100. Wild. Yeah. And
But when the whole thing started, COVID,
it just came out of nowhere. It was like, boom, it was like a car accident. Like, and we're all in it. And it's like, what? And adjustments had to happen quickly. I was always impressed with, like, I'm impressed with how well we could adjust. But even though it's a lesson in also, like, resistance. Like, that whole thing of we think we can control things. But, like, we could either resist them, complain about them, and be really upset about them, or we can go with it, get creative, scrap old thinking, open space for new thinking. And sometimes when I say stuff like that, I do feel like I know there's been a lot of loss, and I do want to honor that, like, and totally recognize and, like, almost like just take a moment to, like, acknowledge and honor like anybody who's lost anyone or had really bad circumstances. Like, we're not trying to say like that didn't matter or didn't happen, but
Totally.
I think it's like, to your point, like a lot of people who have already gone through like a personalized revolution of themselves, like understanding like either addiction or anything, any kind of trauma in your past that you've either dealt with or sort of not dealt with, or continue to deal with. It's like that had forced you to already have a set of tools that you know how to deal with absolute catastrophe, because you were the catastrophe. You know, if you have those kind of things, the catastrophe was inside of you. No one could see it. It's inside of you. So, to our point, we've always talked about this personal revolution of ourselves, and those are the same tools that you use for you is what you use to cope in the universe. So it's kind of getting back to those fundamentals, and we talked about that early on. And it's one thing to say it and another thing to do it.
I know.
So.
No. It's so true. It's so true.
I'm taking a gratuitous sip from my sippy cup. Look at this. Wonder Woman. I got this from Ayanna for Christmas / birthday / New Year.
Oh, I couldn't top it. I was like, oh, I got her. You got me like. Oh my gosh.
Can we see comments from people? Because I personally can't hear where I am, but are you able to? Because I just wanted to check in with people to see if anybody had any questions or any comments or any suggestions for us. Throughout, as we're talking, just feel free to chime in.
Feel free to chime in.
But Ayanna will have to go and do that because I can't see on my end.
You can.
Unless, maybe if I go on Facebook I can. I don't know.
You should be able to see.
Not on StreamYard, because that's where I am right now.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
All right. Well, no one commented yet. I just posted.
Okay. Comment away, people. Everybody's still sleeping.
I guess, right? Get the fuck up. It's 2020. I should happy. Just kidding. Do you want to talk about updates from our peeps?
Yeah.
Little review, and then we'll do updates from like up.
Yeah. Like, I always find at the, change of the year that there's a time for a little bit of reflection on like what's, been, and then also thinking about, goals and what you'd like to accomplish, in your life. Whether you call that a resolution or not, Ayanna doesn't believe in resolutions, so don't tell her it's a resolution. Just do it. No, it's more like we want you to develop tools instead of like one specific like self-hatred goal. So, but in looking back, we were just thinking about the guests we've had. So if you have listened to Fit Fat Chat, you'll know we've interviewed some really awesome people that we thought were fit, fat, worthy to talk to, are real interesting people who have broken the mold and set the bar for people for body confidence, soul positivity, just being somebody who is maybe marginalized or not your typical mold of what you would think would be, going out and doing their thing in their specific field and really killing it, and just fascinating people. So let's see, one of the people was Amanda LeCount, beautiful dancer, and we kind of caught wind of her like sort of at the beginning trajectory of like her kind of getting a little bit of she had a bunch of different things. She was on Ellen, she was on in Katy Perry's Swish Swish video, and we just had a great
dancer for Lizzo.
Yeah, and just a wonderful dancer, larger size body, but totally, started the hashtag breaking the stereotype. And, like, honestly, after speaking with her, her career really, we're not going to take credit for that, but, just probably is. Her career just, like, skyrocketed.
I can take credit for everyone's, like, including mine.
Exactly. Anyone who, including us, who comes in contact with the Fit Fat Chat.
It's the vibe, it's the energy. We like manifest. If you say it out loud in our podcast, it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. But one of the things, like, we had her say what are some of her things that she would like to achieve, and one of them was like, I think she wanted to be. I'm drawing a blank. Riri. What's her? She has like So she this person has a. I know. Normally we'd be able to edit this out when I can't remember somebody's name, but now I'm gonna have to just flail around like a flounder here.
Can I say something?
Rihanna, Riri. I don't know why I couldn't get Rihanna from Rai, but
Riri. I mean, we're tight.
Bad girl Riri. She has this like lingerie, like whole Fenty thing going on, and well, one of Amanda's goals was to be like a backup dancer for Rihanna. And she ended up being like featured in Rihanna's like one of her, along with Lizzo, who we also love and talk about all the time and manifest stuff for. And Lizzo doesn't even know it, or she probably does, but she does in
her heart. She just hasn't seen our face.
Yes, so far she hasn't connected with us, but she's going to. So she was like, and then she did backup dancing for Lizzo at a major like concert venue, and she then was on, like, all of a sudden I was scrolling her page and she was on America's Got Talent, and I was like, wow, that's so crazy. Like, I mean, she's already got talent, so why is she even on this show?
But that was my first thought, actually. Like, what are we doing, girl? But
I know, she was like, I thought you had this without the help of them, but it just gave her more exposure. But then again, she ran into like some body shaming stuff with one of the judges, and I can't remember her name either because I don't even want to say her name because she just shouldn't get any more publicity.
Let's not give it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not give it energy. But basically, yeah, she kind of got screwed in that deal. But what I love about social media nowadays is she can tell her truth and her story, and she's gotten more followers. She's gotten more. Just people are very supportive of her, and I think what's great about these times is we can see through some of that stuff. I bet that stuff happens all the time, but most people don't either know it, it's covert, it's that kind of like discrimination that gets swept under the rug. But anyway, Amanda's killing it. She's doing videos all the time. She is still getting work, and we want to have her back on the show for an update at some point.
Yes.
And then the other person that I noticed was first of all, right when the pandemic hit, we talked to Ian a couple times. Ian, super inspiring. He's like, screw this, I'm gonna write a book, and he had it out in like a week, and I have it.
Oh. I know, I do too. He sent me a copy. I know, I think that was the first book I read in March of 2020 when the pandemic hit.
Yeah, and it was great, and it was a great example of somebody being like, yeah, this isn't gonna. I just have to refocus. It's not gonna set me back. This is just the universe saying, okay, it's time to, that book you were putting off. Like maybe you should just write it. And then I was like, Ayanna, is the universe telling you anything about writing that book? And then what happened, Ayanna?
And then I
Isn't that crazy?
I want to go back to Ian because Ian's so great. So he wrote the book. First of all, he was on the retreat, so that's how we met him. And he's an inspirational speaker. He's a yogi, but he's also like the most inspirational black man like on the face of the fucking planet. I know there's lots out there, but he's, I don't know. Aside from like Damon Silas. Okay, so like they're close. They're close. Damon, shout out.
And Jamar.
Okay, Jamar. What the fuck? They're my 3 favorite people. Okay. And I just love black men. How about that? Ian. So he was like in the midst of like being a black man during like all this George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, like the whole thing. And he just like, I remember I interviewed him and like there wasn't one, like he had sparkles in his eyes just from like staying positive. And that was like, that was like a shift for me of like, all right, but there's like really good stuff going on here in 2020, even though it seems so horrific. That was a pivotal shift, because he was just like, he could have been so pissed off, rightfully so, you know, like, and he was, you know, he's living all close to all of it. He was just right in there. So
agreed. Yeah, I mean, I think it to that point, like a lot of things were so disappointing, but then there was like for some people, I think it was like a moment of, wow, people are actually going to listen this time to what's happening, because how many times has it happened before or will happen again, and we're so busy with our own lives and own agendas that we're not listening to what's going on, what the reality of it. We almost can't look at it because, I mean, that's white privilege, is we don't want to look at it, and this time we are. And so, I mean, all the events had to happen the way they had to happen in order for like some progress to be made, and for us to understand that progress isn't like, even for me personally, it opened my eyes to so much.
Yeah.
You ended up starting the Love and Revolution group.
Oh, yeah. Almost like 4,000 freaking people. Like, what?
So now people are organizing around their beliefs and what they believe in and stand for, and I mean, that's a beautiful thing that should have happened a long time ago, but it is what it is now.
Right.
And a lot of people can still be, you know, you could look at 2020 and be like, oh, I mean, the way the vote went, oh, you can't believe how many people still voted in a certain way. But the fact is, small changes, really big, important changes happened, and it woke us up. It woke us up. Now we gotta stay awake.
Hey,
stay awake.
If you want to make a resolution, stay fucking woke, please.
Stay awake. 100%, because anybody can do that for 5 minutes, but you gotta stick with this. We gotta stick with this, people. Yeah. Right.
And I was thinking too, like, people always be like, that really, really special language right there. Like, how do you make change? Like, how do you make all these incredible changes around like racial whatever divide and stuff? And it's like, you can do it in 1,000 different ways, but like, think about it this way. Like, when I did the retreat, it was not like a fluke that a black man was the first like speaker, that like his voice mattered. Like, they were in this, you know, this of course that was the first retreat I did, and he just spoke to me, and of course, you know what I mean, like, and my retreat's on hold, but the next one was going to be Damon, another black man. Like, it's like, you can put people in positions of power and shine the people that need to be seen and heard and loved and understood, that have not been in the limelight, if you are a person that has the ability and the willingness to do that. So, you know, you can create the ways in which you want the world to be. And you know, that may seem like a small thing. Even on Fit Fat Chat, I was looking back at our guests when we were like getting ready for today.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy black men.
Right? It just was like one black man after another. Like, okay.
Like hip hop dancing, like, I mean, like women, like, it's so like, you know.
Right.
It had like variety.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's very diverse.
Yeah.
That wasn't on purpose. You know what I mean? It was like, let's look for really dynamic, amazing people.
Right.
Right? It wasn't like, let's find all the black people.
but I mean, it's just anybody who's sort of out there breaking the mold. So that's who it is, and yeah. So no surprise. I mean, maybe we're the ones who manifested 2020. I don't know. It probably is, but whatever. We all did collectively. I think that's what's different too, is that there's a collective, more of a collective versus an individual, and when that happens, there's more of a sense of a community too, which I find, I always find that gets lost, and it's very important, because the more scattered we are, the less power we have, individually and collectively. So, in 2020, coming together around common causes really created a lot of community, which creates power, knowledge. Yeah.
All of
So, Ian was an amazing guest. We'll have him on again for sure. And Blessing was one of our guests. What's up with Blessing? Oh yeah, we did have one powerful black woman on. Blessing.
She's great. She's very tall. She's very energetic, and thank God she's in school. She does the mom life, so she's in school, man. That kid really needs school. Holy moly, that's the other thing. Like, I ended up getting a job part-time in a school too. It's not easy in COVID. I mean, shout out to like teachers and administrators, all those decisions you have to make, and like, how do you understand what's safe and what's not safe, and how do you keep the social emotional well-being of children still okay while keeping teachers? I mean, it's like that is a hard place to be. But my kid is a testament to like, she needs to be around people. She needs structure that I cannot offer. I mean, I'm all over the place. I mean, I'm surprised I get anything done. I mean, I have great ideas and like a lot of energy, but they're all over the fucking place. And so that's just the way I am. And my husband's disease is not that way. And that's why it works. But she really needs to be around people. And so, yeah.
Another interesting thing is the difference between the way adults and children would view like 2020 and what it means to like somebody like Blessing to see a march with people saying Black Lives Matter. I mean, just imagine her. I just think of her a lot when I think of what's happened and how people are organizing around and what we remember is important, because as adults we have our own set of like issues that we think are important, but it kind of brings it back. And I loved how some of your posts would include Blessing, because I don't know how people can see Blessing and and still be fucking racist. You can't. I mean, you can, because it's part of the system, but my God.
That's a good point. She's like an amazing being. I mean, it's hard not to love her, right?
It is. She's my favorite.
Yeah, those two incidences were so hard that we experienced in 2020 around like Ahmaud Arbery, and then going out to like run for his birthday, and then her being like, should I wear black or white, or so that people don't see that I'm actually black, and then hurt me, and then oh my God, and when our sign got stolen and you were crying, and then that was hard, and then it was like,
yeah,
those are moments that were really hard. Again, incredible learning moments, like
really formative to her,
really formative
and us.
Yeah, but in like a safe way. Like, I don't know. I mean, in lots of ways, I have privilege, that other people don't. Like, my husband has a job he works for DCF, but we're not like gazillionaires, but we have a house, we have a roof over our head, we're not afraid of, fear of where our food's going to come from. In fact, we have too much food,
No such thing.
Right. She's safe to understand that stuff, because she's like well cared for. Like, so it's hard, and not that parents aren't like taking care of their kids, but I can just imagine, like, if you're someone with all those without that security, and then dealing with racism on top of it, and then trying to explain it to your child, your black boy specifically, I mean, that is hard. That's like trauma right there. I mean, I don't know how people survive. I just don't even know. I mean, she's lucky, and she's got her own little resilient spirit that just will power through anything anyway. That's just her nature. But not everyone's like that.
Yeah. And I go, when I think about the episode she was on, the one thing, this is going to totally change subject, but we asked her what she would want, and she said a puppy.
Oh,
She manifested herself a puppy. You guys got a dog. So did I, by the way. We both got dogs.
You got Sawyer, and you got Winston, and they are BFF. I mean, it's like a dog love affair. These
For real.
gay boys that like fucking.
There's a bromance for sure between those two dogs.
Those ones of us is hilarious.
Totally. Yeah, so
Hilarious. Oh my god! Wow.
So I mean, that's a big change in a year, like, to have. But what an enrichment! Like, so many people got dogs during the pandemic. So, like, let's have some doggy play groups, people.
Let's get on it. Let's get on that. Oh my god.
So I think the other update we talked about Jamar just a little bit, but Jamar has done recently some Jamar Rogers. So he was a singer on The Voice, so that's how he kind of got more of a national audience. But he's a wonderful human being, an amazing speaker, an activist. I think that episode is one of my favorite episodes, episode 7, right before the pandemic.
Listen to it in my car, like I'm like
his part,
and I'm like, I need Jamar.
Yeah, Jamar. I mean, he talks about, self-love in a way that this guy has been through so much that he is for sure an expert on it because he's had to be
out of the fucking water.
Yeah, and some of the principles he brought up I still go back to, and I used during the pandemic, like, taking care, fathering yourself, mothering yourself.
The language alone, like.
Yes, and leading with love, and you either can choose fear or love, one or the other. It's everything else.
Like, which are you choosing?
Makes it simple. I'm choosing love. Choosing love, baby.
Right.
Yeah, and then to watch how his life unfolded in one short year of very adverse conditions, like he was out there marching and giving speeches in I feel like it was Los Angeles or in California, and he was like on a loudspeaker giving, we said you should be a preacher, like, and there he was preaching to the masses, like. And then when it became too much and he knew he needed to have his own self-care, he ended up going on a trip to Mexico with his new boyfriend, and he is absolutely self-proclaimed in love. And it's really, really awesome
lucky boyfriend
to see this. Yeah, we're pissed. No, I'm so happy for Jamar. Like, if anybody deserves, like, love and healthy love, like, it's him, and, well, we all do. But he seems to have found it and, like, it's just very inspiring. So, we're going to have him on again, too, but if in the meantime, check out some of his recent interviews, like, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Facebook. He definitely has done a couple interviews that I enjoyed listening to because, again, he's dropping positivity, knowledge, coping skills, wisdom. Yeah, it just all connects. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. So,
yeah.
So I can't wait to see what's in the future because you've also, during this pandemic, Ayanna started like some Fearless Fridays and some whatever Monday somethings, and there were some amazing people that you interviewed that I feel like can be on Fit Fat Chat for follow-up.
Yeah, we would definitely do that. Michelle Johnson was one. That was I think that was my favorite. She was the one that wrote the book, like Yogis and Anti-Racism and Radical Changes and Shifts in those realms and how they coincide together. She was just she's the one that taught me about like collective suffering and like
Yes.
how that all breaks down in white bodies and black bodies, and like if we're gonna like fight racism together, we have to really, you know, tap into that together. And that was my introduction to like, oh wait, everything comes back to trauma, like not just PTSD, not just like addiction, not just racism. I mean, I had no on that, but like that moment, I was like,
she connected the dots. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's profound. Like, she had some, like that, yeah, she was put in your life to make that connection to then, it just was so synergistic at the time. She was so dead on about it. Like, it wasn't even, and she's so matter of fact, she's just like, yeah, this is how it is.
And I was like laughing, and she was just like,
yeah.
She kind of sort of smiled when I was trying to make her laugh. She's like, what else do you want from me? Like, she was amazing. I was like, yeah, wow, you're just a
genius.
Intellect, the whole thing.
So much to learn from people. But without the pandemic, you probably, I mean, you might have done that, but you probably wouldn't have pursued that, all those interviews and stuff.
I can't believe you did.
Right, not only would you have not have pursued it, but they might not have had time to do it either. So,
well, right, yeah.
Exactly. What a way to showcase some of these people again that don't typically have a voice in like mainstream media to explore these like more in depth. And then Oprah copied you and got like her own show interviewing people, but whatever.
Let's try to get on her, bestseller book.
Yeah.
I'll be on it.
Oh, yeah. It's manifesting it right now. Hello.
Brene Brown really has to, like, knock on my door and be like, I want to interview you. For her podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I should do probably, like, an interview of you for the book at some point.
Okay, cool, yeah.
To launch things, so...
Oh, yes, we can, like, then that'll be, like, our marketing video to send to them. Oh, look at you being so smart.
When we put our heads together, it's scary. We got some good ideas.
Right?
Anyway.
Love
it.
Yeah. I thought we might open it up to the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
About 1,000 people that are watching.
Who's with us? Anybody?
It's hard to tell on stream here.
Oh, okay. Maybe if I go to my phone and look at Facebook.
Comment. You know who is here or who was here? Amar. Remember him?
Huh?
Amar? Remember him?
No. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, Amar. Yeah. Hi, Amar and Antoinette. Hi, Antoinette. Yeah. Hi, Amar. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Or anyone else out there? Like, what's your, 21.
Michael Markley. Jamie Mark? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in and listening.
Yeah.
Okay. Intentions. How did you choose that word?
As you noted so well, but I do believe in setting intentions. Because that's more of like what do you want for you? Like, not like, I'm going to go on a fucking diet. Because diets, as we know, are fucking death. It's so fucking stupid, right? We don't believe in them. Fit Fat Chat does not believe in them. So intentions speak more into, like, what you want to bring into your life. Like, what, in 2021, like, it should look a little different than other years, specifically because we've lost so much. And we've had to look at, and, like, what is so important, right? So it's kind of like, what is it that you want to maintain? And then what is it that you want to let go of? So it's not like going on a diet, you gotta like get rid of something. But like fear, for example. Like lots of people had to let go of fear.
Like if you even think about dieting, it's fear based. It's lack based. It's not based in abundance. It's not based in a self love. It's based in a deprivation mode, and it really can lead to some serious body image and eating disorder issues, and it has for many people. But I mean, we're not saying that health is not important. Like your health is everything. But seeing it from a place of abundance, I've been sort of visualizing more when I, instead of setting a goal, a specific, goal, I'd be planting seeds.
Yeah, I love that idea, and then they grow.
And you can't control which ones are necessarily going to grow or not, because that's life. But you can plant them and water them and do the best you can, and then let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
And
yes. So good. That's how I live.
That's kind of a way to get out of that addictive mindset of like you're doing something to fix an issue, or you're doing something to fix a lack that you feel inside of you, or to soothe something inside of you that doesn't feel good. That's never going to work. It's never going to work. It might work temporarily, or you might think it's working, but it's going to crash eventually. So
Exactly. Yes. Like just bringing in whatever it is that you want. And sometimes if you're really tapped into the universe, me and the universe, I like that. Right? Sometimes I don't know what's going to happen. That's why it seems like I'm in like 1,000 different directions. But it's just, I'm so excited about 1,000 different things at once. But like on 100. And like I'm so high vibing that like any of those things can happen. And so I want to bring in whatever those things are. Now the universe likes to dance around and figure that out too. So sometimes it seems like I'm like in like chaos. I'm not chaos. It's just like the moment where I'm like, where am I going? Where am I holding these balls? Like, and the universe grabs one and leads me in that direction.
The universe grabs you by the balls and leads you in that direction. Wait, are we talking about balls though? What?
I already have to edit stuff. That's funny.
Yeah.
Right? I know.
How about here? Every now and then, I also tell myself, how about having 5 seconds of insane courage to do something that you normally would say no to, that could be good for you, and just do it. Because I'm more of a, like, some people don't have that problem. They're, like, always ready to initiate. But if you have a little bit of a problem initiating things because you're super careful and you don't want to make mistakes, like me, then that little mantra is a good one. Because good things have come from that. When I do have some insane courage, I don't usually regret that. So
you wouldn't be a Zumba instructor if you didn't do that.
Yep, that's one of those things where I was like, hold my breath, go for it. Okay, it is what it is now. Now 10 years later,
honest fucking answer in the world.
I can do it in my sleep now. I love it, and it's just comes as second nature. And back then, it felt so foreign to me that I was like, what am I doing? And it was all the negative self-talk that I had. But I had to say, you'd say shut the fuck up, but...
Zip it. Zip it up, you negative self-talking motherfucking idiot. I want to bring in the good things for myself, so I'm going to pay attention to that. And the other, you can zip it. Whatever. If it doesn't align with that...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. We're like opposites because I have to like slow myself down.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, you don't need insane courage. You've got it.
But the only reason I have it is because I trust the universe. That's the only. It's like this hurdle you have to get over around fear and trust. Like, it's like it is a scary moment when you're like the book, for example. I was like, there was halfway through where I was like, I don't fucking know if I can do this. Like, I'm sitting in my trauma. It's affecting my mental health. It's it's affecting my body. Like I feel heavy, I feel gross, and it's, the only reason is because I was reliving that stuff, right? It was like, and then I didn't want to do it. Like I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you write some more, and you're like, no, I want to do this. This is great. And then the fear comes back in. I'm like, wait, my whole family's gonna see this and hear it, and they might have some kind of reactions. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you gotta sit back in your power and be like, wait, this is my story. This is it. I'm living my truth. This is how you live your truth. But all that comes in. It's not like I'm like, don't have those things. But the end result is like, when those things happen, I sit back and I trust the universe. And the answer is always yes. Yes, this is the right thing to be doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it, because I trust the universe so much that I don't do shit that doesn't align with my soul anymore. I just don't.
Yeah, that is a key. Wow. It's super. Yeah, I mean, and if I think part of how body positivity sort of connects to all of this is that a lot of people are alienated from their own feelings in their own body. Like you're so used to, maybe when you grew up, you were told to ignore those certain feelings, or you repress them, because to get through daily life, you sometimes have to put things aside. But you start like not even being in touch with it at some point. So to know, I definitely know when everything's aligned, because I just have this joy.
Yeah. You can feel it in your body.
Yeah, and that anxiety is basically, it can get a life of its own, but a lot of times when you initially are feeling it, it's because something's not aligning, and you have to kind of go inward to figure out what that is. Do a little bit of restorative yoga and get in touch with, release some stuff, and woo.
Yeah, I mean, every project I've done has been born from Shavasana. Shavasana, and these amazing things start to come in my head, and I can see them, beginning, middle, end, like the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's the next thing. That's the next step. And then I just pay attention. Where the people get caught up is like, they see those beautiful things, and then they immediately attach fear to it so fast, of like, ooh, shit, I can't do that. Ooh, shit, would not be nice, right? People all the time, would not be nice if I could live like that. Like, no,
yeah.
That moment you grab it and you start making steps towards it in that moment. But if you miss the window, bam! The rest doesn't work with fear. I know, I'm all fired up now.
Yeah, no, I love it. But also say it out loud. Don't keep it inside of you. Like, say it out loud, because the universe will conspire. Other people want to help you with your goals. Like, if you're surrounded by the right people, if you're not, then maybe those people need to take a hike. You can put space between yourself and the people that aren't supporting your goals, because that's important too. But I felt like the more that I put it out, the more I find the exact tribe I need. Like, I mean, there's been so many beautiful people that have come into my life through, what blows me away is I'm probably the furthest person away from who I ever thought would do yoga, let alone embrace it. And now I have so many friends that are yogis, that are amazing, inspirational people. Britt. I mean, I watched Britt, Jessica, it's just, I can't even name everyone, but everyone I've met that's a yogi, just so inspirational, just embracing their truth, living outside the box. Amazing. So that's, a lot of years I was just resistant, I'm not a yoga person, I'm not a yoga, what? Why am I not a yoga person? Because I'm a yoga person now.
You're an amazing yoga person.
I might become a yogi. Did I just put that out in the universe? What?
You don't have to put that out. Speaking of, my friend,
I don't know where that came from.
Who I've oh no, are you frozen?
Am I? I'm fine on my end. You froze now. Oh no. Oh, we hit 10:45. Are we done? I'm going to leave the studio and then try to come back. Oh, you're gone.
Alright, it's my internet connection. It's funky. Hold on. We may be done. Happy New Year. I think we might be, unless she's trying to come back in, we might be done. Bummer. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe out there. Oh, let's see.
Am I back?
You are back. I think
Okay.
it's internet connect. I don't know.
It could be on my end too. I don't know. I just got out and got back in, but we are at the 10:45 mark where we've been yapping.
Yeah, I was like, the universe is like, you're done. You're done.
You're done. For another time. This conversation will continue.
It will
to be
continue.
continued.
Yes, it will continue with my friend Nicole. That's what I was saying.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna interview her, and hopefully maybe next Sunday if I can get her. But she did this amazing thing talking about body positivity. I took her yoga class the other day, and at the end, she talks to throughout the whole class, she talks to your body like your best friend. So she's like, this class is not for you, it's for your best friend. Your best friend is your body. So the whole class she talks about it, which is such a shift, especially if you're not feeling good about your body. It just shifts you back into loving it no matter what it can do. You're just so grateful for it. And then at the end, she has like a conversation with your best friend. She's like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your best friend. So you can shut your thoughts up about what you think I should be saying. And that for me was like a game changer. Because writing the book and having it come out, I've been feeling so heavy. It's not like actual weight, but it feels like weight. It's so heavy. So like her class was like a game changer. I was like, wait a second. And it was so nice to have someone else have a conversation with my body that I was like struggling with.
Oh, how perfect for the new year then, because I think, it's tough because this is a time of year when people are like wanting to make changes, and health is one of them. But our society is not that greatly equipped to do it in a healthy way, and what a great approach that would be. So tune in next week if you want to really get some tips, if it's going to be next week. But either way, we'll do some tips.
I'll get it. But yeah,
excuse me.
Speak to speak to your body, but speak to yourself,
Yeah, and that's even besides just body positivity, just like that's self-love. If you're not your best friend, if you're not giving yourself what you need, like that, you're looking for it from external sources, and that's where problems start.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're struggling with that, get somebody that you like totally trust and love, and have them be the mirror for you. I call Christy all the time when I'm so angry, and she can just hold space and be like, this is what you're feeling, and it's, this is what you're going through, and it's like, it's all right, and it's okay. And then it totally shifts, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So happy New Year, everybody. We're gonna jump off. We're gonna end this. But we'll see you.
Just so you know, Ayanna Parent, what's the name of your book? Becoming Free?
Becoming Free.
Becoming Free is going to be available soon to order. I'm so excited. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So
stay tuned for the bookstore and how to order it all, and the Facebook page, Becoming Free, a memoir. We're also on Instagram. All the stuff will be posted there on how you can order the book. And yes, everyone keeps asking me, is it going to be on Kindle? Yes. It's going to be on Audible? Yes. It might not be on Audible till the spring because I got to get my stuff together. Out loud. Oh.
Amazing. So if you want to ask any questions even after the show, just drop them in the comments, and we can always address them next week. And we hope you tune in weekly. We just love you.
We love you.
We love ourselves. We love each other.
We love each other.
Love.
Your echo. Love our dog.
We hope you. Let's see. We are sending peace, love, and light, and we hope you live
May you live.
fit.